What is going on, Washington fans? I'm Josh Taylor. Welcome to the JTFB YouTube channel. As always, hit that like button and subscribe. But welcome to the show, guys. I told y'all I was going to go live every time something happens, or at least some, major of an impact, some activity from Washington. Anything happens, I'm going to go live, guys. You know that. So today, and of course, it's like the busiest day. I'm driving to Waco, Texas today, and I'm over here stopping on the side of the road, making graphics on my computer that I have with me. So what a great day for the team to be busy. But Washington has made some moves, and there's a lot of chatter on social media, especially X, people DMing me, adding me, replying to the graphics I posted today, asking for some opinions and stuff like that. But then also I see some crazy stuff out there. So I said, what the heck, guys? I just got home literally 10 minutes ago. I was like, look, let's go live. Let's talk together. Let's kind of go through these moves and I guess talk about like what, this impacts. Because some people I think it impacts a lot more than it actually does. But in my opinion, these were all expected moves, but we're going to talk about it. So, welcome guys, blow up the chat. What's going on? Also the sports. Always appreciate you coming by. What's going on? Pat Ellis says, what's up, everybody? Uncensored H says, you're Big E, what's good? Haven't caught up with the team in a few days, so help a brother out. Big E, you haven't really missed a lot. The AP era has begun. Unreal, says Bradley. Appreciate y'all coming by. Like I said, drop your comments. But for Big E, just real quick, it's funny because like the combines right now, Josh Harris, said back in like September that he was going to be sitting in on all these interviews and stuff and really just soaking it all up, especially with the quarterbacks, which is good. Like in my opinion, like it's rare in the NFL that owners sit in these meetings. That's fine. You see it in the NHL, you see it in the NBA, MLB. It's just not that common in the NFL. But Josh Harris already said back in like September, guys, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be sitting in on all these interviews. So I just want to talk about this real quick because this is something people were talking about too. It is not a red flag. He is not asking questions. He's already come out and said he's not going to have any kind of influence on whoever the pick is. He just wants to sit in there, which is great. Learn the process. If you're going to own a team, if you're going to spend billions of dollars on a team, sit in and learn the whole thing. Learn what the process is. And then also get to know the people. I'm such a people person. Like at work, I talk to everybody. I can be very antisocial, but then I can also be very social. But I'm a people person. So I get it. Like when I was a manager, like I would talk to my people. I would talk to people, like the new people I would meet. Like I would want to talk to everybody. So I'm fine with Josh Harris doing that. Like, look, hey, my name's Josh Harris. I own the team. Like, I'm just here to listen. I just want to get to know you. Like, he's not asking questions. He's not like telling, like, oh, hey, Adam, ask this question, do this, do that. He just wants to learn the process and get to know the people. That's great. I would much rather him be a people person than some transactional billionaire that sits up in his suite and says, "Oh, I'm gonna make all the calls. I'm gonna do all this. I'm gonna go to sit on my yacht, like who I'm never gonna talk about on this channel again." But DS, that's the abbreviations. DS. This is not the same situation, guys. There's nothing wrong. I saw people freaking out like, "Oh, it's the same old Washington. Nothing's going to change." He's gonna pick who he wants. No, that is why Adam Peters is here. That is why we've brought in all these big time evaluators and front office people to be in these conversations and to be upfront with all of this. He just wants to sit down, get to learn the process. Like, what's wrong with that? What is wrong? This is his first time over here in the NFL. Like, he's new to this. Let him learn the process. There's nothing wrong with it. So get over it, guys. But anyways, let's see what we got. Tommy T says he just hired all these guys. He wants to see how they work. Exactly. Another thing, too. If you hired Adam Peters and you're bringing in all these outside people and then you keep some inside people as well, like Mayhew and all these scouts and stuff like that, see their process. See how it works. See what you can do best for you as an owner, saying, what can I give these guys? What can I do for these guys to help them do their job? What does that look like? This is what they do process-wise. Maybe I should do this. Like, just things we don't know, things we don't see. Just let the people do their job, guys. Let Josh Harris be a billionaire. Let him sit in a meeting. If he wants to sit in a meeting, he saved us. Like, that's fine. If he wants to rename the field, like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. He bought the team. People just trying to make a big deal out of nothing with the Harris news, typical for DC media. Yes, and I'm not even gonna talk about DC media news because there's a lot of good like beat reporters and local. Like I love Kyle, I love JP in them. Sometimes they say some crazy things. Not a fan of the junkies. There's a couple other ones you've seen me get in fights with on X. I can't stand. Call themselves farm animal names, whatever. Some people just have some awful opinions, which I don't really get to. But we'll talk about that with the cuts too. There's been some crazy things I've seen some people talk about. I'm like, how did you come up with this out of these moves? H double TC says, I'm so excited to see what type of players we build with. I'm stoked to see this new roster. Mark Moore says they are doing more than they've done in a while. Absolutely. Bradley folks act like it's Jerry Jones 2.0. Yes, it's not even the same situation. So let's talk about the moves from today, guys. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. Like I said, I'm not going to be going live for a crazy amount of time, but I want to talk about what happened today because they were all expected, but I mean, someone asked me the other day, like, Josh, when do you think roster moves are going to start happening with re-signing Cam Curl, which has to be done by Tuesday, by the deadline. And the tag deadline is Tuesday, by the way, guys. Most tags happen on Monday and Tuesday. Teams wait till the last minute to try to get those deals done. And if a deal just gets done, then cool, they announce it, they sign it, it's done. But they don't usually tag players until that Monday and Tuesday. Like, that's the big days. Tuesday morning, you're going to see like 10 people get tagged. 15, close to 15 people get tagged. There's already been a couple. You've already heard some news of like players maybe getting tagged. Like I said, I had a couple of people reach out to me on X. Like, hey, Josh, when are you going to see moves going to start happening? I'm like, Combine week. Like now. This is when things are going to start happening now. Free agency is like 10 days away. It's close. It's very close. I'm so excited. This is like the best time of the year. We don't have to worry about losing a game. We're just doing the other things that other teams are doing. We have a lot of money. So it's going to start happening now. And we saw that today. So let's bring it up. Let me see if I can see my screen. Let's see. Let's go with this one. And boop. So Charles Leno was the first move done today. You can kind of see it. March 1st, 2024, today. Starting the month off strong. Adam Peters. And I said this today too, guys. It's funny that and I won't even just say it, we as fans, but we as a group, the fans, the content creators, the podcasters, whatever, the Twitter GMs, whatever you want to call us. We as a fan base, as a group, over the last few years have known what best moves should be made regarding this team, like common sense moves. But over the last few years, in the years past, we have not seen it happen. It's just like, why did this happen, or why didn't this happen? What's going on? And you can call it the Ron Rivera royalty. You know, it's like, guys, you know, I got a close connection with this guy. I can't let him go. I got to keep Logan Thomas here. You know, I don't want to get rid of so-and-so. I don't know what to do. Ron Rivera's loyalty program is what we're going to call it. And it's just moves that didn't make sense in years past. Like, they're starting to happen now, and they're happening fast. So Charles Leno was the first one, released by Washington, clearing $7.28 million of cap space. And I mentioned when it first happened, we didn't know if it was a now thing or if it was a post June 1st because the cap numbers were different. It goes from like 7.28 to like 11.5, I want to say, if they would have waited 6.1. But there's a dead cap hit, and then there's also a dead cap that's pushed to 2025. They probably don't want any dead money on the books for next year, which is fine. You have the most money. Well, you did. The Patriots are first now. You have a lot of cap space. There's no reason like penny pinching the $3-4 million, whatever it is, and putting dead cap on the books for next year. There's no reason for it. Just do it now. Clean sweep in case he wanted to sign with a team. It looks like he's not going to sign with the team. I think his wife Jen said like he's going to be a stay-at-home dad. He needs hip surgery anyways. Shout out to Charles Leno though. Fan base, you know, gave him a lot of hate. He was better than a lot of fans thought he was. He was not Chris Paul. He was not Nick Gates, and he was not Wiley. He was a little bit better, and at least he stayed healthy. Long career, you know, older guy, stayed healthy, durable, endured the pain of being a Washington player for the last few years under Ron Rivera. So shout out to Charles Leno for that. But we saved $7.28 million in cap space. So I'm gonna just talk about them all first, and then we're gonna go into like a deeper dive of what this means. Because apparently Washington's trading back from 2 now because of these moves, guys. Things I didn't know. Let's see. I hate that it's on these websites, by the way, guys. I don't know who that is. Okay. I don't know who that is. That is not mine. So Logan Thomas gets cut today as well. They don't really put a thing down here yet, have they? Just because it's been so fresh today. But I'll say about Logan Thomas, another older guy, by the way. We know this was going to happen. We didn't know when it was going to happen. I'll say with Charles Leno, if you watched my video talking about free agency and offensive line, I personally thought that they were going to wait until the draft and then do it, at least see if they can get a replacement for him first. But it just seems like, the talent evaluation process that's done for Adam Peters, like they're done with that. It just didn't make sense to wait. So now like left tackle is a top priority. So outside of that, with Logan Thomas, freeing him up, releasing him frees up another $6.54 million in cap space. I want you to kind of remember these numbers because that's something everyone's always asking too is, Josh, how much do we have now? What does this mean? So we get rid of Logan Thomas. I'm not even going to, bother typing in Nick Gates' name because once again, I talked about it in the video, the offensive line and free agency. Excuse me. And I think you eat like a couple $1,000s cutting Nick Gates. Like it does nothing financially for you. It's just he's that bad. There's no reason he should even be on the team. Literally no reason he should be on the team this year. So Charles Leno is gone. Nick Gates is gone. And Logan Thomas is gone as well. So that's technically 3 starters at the beginning of the year. Nick Gates got benched. And that was 3 of Ron Rivera's starters. We knew that it was not good enough to be starters for the other 32 teams in the league. But that was us. That's the standard that we had here in Washington. Let's get to a couple comments real quick before I close this out and get into the cap space and kind of just talk more about it. HWTC says, I can tell Jaden wants to go to Vegas with AP. Yes. With AP bad. Yes, that's true. Him and AP are really close. AP has ties with him back from Arizona State. And if I know the coach, I would love to go there too. But I think Jaden would love coming to Washington as well. John says, what players do we believe are the most projectable under the new coaching staff? I guess you're talking about like existing ones, honestly. All the defensive players. Dude, I honestly, like I hate to say this, but I think every player on the team got a little bit better because of the changes to the coaching staff. That sounds really bad, but it's true. Guys are going to be in a position to succeed now, both sides of the ball. With Dan Quinn on defense and Joe Witt Jr. on defense, those guys are going to, be playing under the best defensive guys in the NFL. Obviously what they did with the Cowboys last year, it's great. Going from I'll say the last few years, going from last to one of the top defenses in the league every single year, especially in turnovers, that's huge. Offensive side of the ball, we, non-existent. Having Cliff over here, I'm ecstatic about Cliff. There's been a lot of people that aren't excited about Cliff, but Cliff is my kind of guy. Cliff, as just an offensive guy, offensive genius, offensive coordinator, is a film junkie, a guy who likes to adapt. And people are saying oh, I don't think his offense was that good when he was head coach. It is so different when you are head coach, especially with Cliff. It's not like Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan. It wasn't like that situation at all. So it's a little bit different. But without going too deep into it, I think honestly everyone. Grayson says Leno was kind of surprising, not gonna lie. So yeah, like I said, I honestly thought they were gonna wait till the draft to make these moves. Well, not all of them. Logan Thomas could go, and I was like, he could go now. Nick Gates, he could go now. Wiley, financially, it just makes more sense to at least move him to left guard, see what you have. Give him one more year. You have a 2025 out in his contract. I can't remember what it is off the rip, but it just didn't make sense to get rid of Wiley right now. I fully expect them to move him to left guard. Or be like a backup at right tackle. But yeah, I honestly thought Leno, but it might have something to do with the medical stuff. He needs surgery. Would he even be ready? It just seems like they were like, look, man, it's not going to work. We need to move on. We need to get younger. And then with his injury stuff, he needed surgery. Would he even be ready by the season? I don't know. I've never had a hip surgery, just a nasty elbow one. And I'm still trying to recover from it. So for me, it was just it just needed to be done. It just needed to be done. They weren't going to waste any time on it. Need to know who they have in mind as a backup left tackle. I'm gonna guess you have to re-sign Lucas because Lucas is a free agent too. Like technically on the depth chart, he's like a backup right tackle right now, but he came in, played well. Who I forgot who we played, but I remember there was one game that Charles Leno missed this year. Was it like the Chiefs? No, I forgot who we played that he started, but he had a really good game. But can you do that consistently? I don't know. I think he's at least a good backup option that can come in if he has to. Jaden is definitely the guy. I love Jaden. I love Drake May. Like I've been saying, guys, if we get any of these two, I'm not into the bashing of quarterbacks. I'm not a Drake May like fan where I'm going to be dogging Jaden Daniels and vice versa. I'm not. I like both. I like all three. I like the top three. If you want me to say I don't like a quarterback, it's Bo Nix, it's Michael Penix Jr., it's JJ McCarthy. I don't trust him yet. I don't trust JJ yet. I think he could be good, but I don't trust him. I don't think he's ready to just be thrown to the wolves and start playing. Because he didn't even do that in Michigan. But yeah, like for me, it's any of those three guys. Give me any of those three, and I think they could all succeed under what we are going to want to do. And I'm going to do a quarterback video soon, guys. That's like the big one, of course. That's the one that you just drop and it goes crazy. So like I want that one to be really good. I want to do some film. I want to do some discussions with y'all. I want like just straight up good content with that one. I don't want to just start rambling. I'm not the kind of person that just rambles and yells for attention and throws hot takes. Like that is not me, guys. If you're here for clicky stuff, even though some people think I am, I'm just realistic and I try to see things from every view. I will never be like, oh, that guy sucks because I'm team Drake May. Jaden Daniels sucks. Old, twig legs. All he's going to do is run. That's not what I'm about to do. So that's what you're looking for. You got the wrong guy. Ron's slave to loyalty is always the biggest downfall via getting fired. Yes. Jaden going to the Raiders. I could see them trading up because I think the Patriots just know they're not a quarterback away, and there's not a single quarterback in this class or on God's green earth that could go to the Patriots and succeed right away. They need a major overhaul. They are worse than us. It's bad. We at least have some talent. I don't know what the Patriots have nothing. We should have got a tight end in the last draft and let Logan go. Like I said, that's a prime example of what I said earlier about how like there was moves we knew needed to be made and it never happened, but it seemed like this regime knows like the common things. The last two drafts, even with John Bates, we were like, who? I liked Cole Turner, but we were saying, guys, especially last year, we need a legit tight end one in the draft. The Packers drafted like 10, and we got nothing. We knew that Ron Rivera was just going to roll into the season with Logan Thomas again. We knew it. But yet we thought something different would happen, and it never did. Sign Lucas ASAP? Yes. I think it'd be a easy contract. It's not going to be nothing crazy. Do it. Do it. Grayson Roberts says, can you put a rookie behind a line with 4 new starters? Only reason I was a little surprised with Leno. Yes, you can. And I'll tell you why. The Texans did it. And they were down their first round draft pick for the whole season. They were down a second round draft pick with Tyus Howard the whole season. Like I said, Kenyon Green was out the whole season. They had a bunch of backups. They rotated guys all season long, and you couldn't even tell. They had about 8 injuries on the offensive line. They were using their starting center. Their third string center to start the season. They were down the first 2 guys before the season even started. They were down left guard before the season even started. They made it work. And this is something else I talked about on the offensive line video with free agency. This is why I want a Lloyd Cushenberry from the Broncos. Give him a 4-year deal, whatever. Get him here. We need a center with experience. You're gonna see Powers Johnson probably goes late first, either mid-20s to late first. Zach Frazier's going to be right there with them. If not, you got to take him to start the second. Then there goes one of your picks. But once again, you have a rookie at center now. So in my opinion, you have to sign some free agents on that offensive line. Good ones. I guess maybe Jonah Williams is an option at left tackle. Maybe Mike Iwanu from the Patriots is an option at right tackle. Like I said, you move Wiley to left guard. You have experience at left guard now. Then, like I said, Christian Berry at center. There's a couple other options. Connor Williams isn't going to be ready for the season. It's probably not going to be ready till like December of next year. So you have to. And you have to spend some money in free agency on the line. You have the money. I know it's not the sexiest thing to do. Like I said, they're going to spend a lot of money on defense and free agency, but you've got to have experience. It is not possible to just draft 4 guys on the offensive line. It's not going to happen. We don't know what Stromberg's going to look like. We don't know what any of these depth guys look like. We know what Cosme is, and that's it. So, if I had to predict today, we're going to sign 2 offensive linemen that could potentially start. That's my prediction for free agency to start is 2 guys get signed on the offensive line. That doesn't mean we're not going to draft any, though. And I'll talk about that here in a minute, too. I think there's a move that was shown today based off of these other moves. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Let me get to some of these other comments. I kind of thought maybe with the new line coach, they'd keep Gates since they were in New York together. Yeah, they were in New York together, and he's like, I want nothing to do with him. Washington sure did not tag Curl. It sounds like they are not wanting to tag Curl. It sounds like they're trying to get a deal done. Like I said, they have until Tuesday. What's the deadline? Like 4:00 Eastern time is what I think it is. But it sounds like they want to get a deal done. And, even though me and Cam are going to fight on X, it is what it is. Like, that was over with. We were both out of pocket. We both said things we should have said. I think paying Cam Curl is a good idea. It just depends what that contract looks like. Like, can you make him a top 3, top 4 safety in the league? I don't know. I haven't seen enough playmaking, like turnovers and big plays, to say yes. But now, could he do that this year with Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn? Absolutely. Cam Curl is reliable. Cam Curl gets the tackles. Like, Cam Curl plays a lot of different spots. They ask a lot of Cam Curl. And dude has well exceeded expectations of a 7th round pick. He's one of the top. He's a top 5 safety. He's top 5. But man, it's just a lot of money. But still, like, pay him. You might pay him. Keep him here. Biggie says this is like Christmas week. Draft will be Christmas morning, dude. Y'all know I'm gonna be at the draft. I'm gonna be in Detroit all week for the draft. Can't wait. But for free agency, I'm gonna be doing Bleacher Report streams. I'm gonna be doing my streams here live on the channel. I'll be doing graphics for y'all while I'm at work. Work, not sports work, and a lot of good things. So hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Subscribe, like, and then also you can join the membership and support the channel for only $2.99 a month. So I can keep this thing going for I'm trying to go full time, y'all. That'd be sick. JD5 going to look good in Washington. Fuck y'all, that JD or May for you. Who and why, big dog? Like, I can't pick one. I've been leaning towards Drake May a little bit because I think he has the upside to become like the Justin Herbert, just a special passer. How he's able to, manipulate his throws, how he's able to put the touch on the throws, drop them in. And I'm telling y'all, he is so much more athletic than people give him credit for. I think he's really good on his legs, but he does not go to his legs unless he absolutely has to. And man, if you tell me like I have to pick one, it's going to be May. But I think Jaden Daniels has a good chance of transitioning to the NFL better right away, like quicker, not by a lot, but by a little bit. Because when things break down or he's confused by something or he doesn't see something he doesn't like, he will be able to use his feet and make a big play. Once again, Drake May will too, but Drake May's mindset is more of I'm not going to until I absolutely have to. Jaden Daniels plays a little faster with his legs. He's like, look, I might be missing this 10-yard throw, but I know I can get something special with my legs right now. Let me go for it. So if I had to pick, I'm going to say Drake May. But once again, I love Jaden Daniels too. I'm going to be ecstatic with either of those two guys playing quarterback here. Probably on the field at all is crazy. I don't disagree. But you have to at least move him to left guard. Like I said, it just does not, as much money as you'd be eating this year, it makes no sense getting rid of him. Like this year, like next year is your way out. Biggie says, by the way, Josh, want to come party with you? Do it. Come to Austin, Texas sometime, man. Anyone ever comes out here, let me know. I will take y'all somewhere. I know all the good spots down here. But like I said, if y'all are going to be at the draft, let me know. I've never been to Detroit before, so we're going to, go at it together. We're going to figure out the spots to go to. I'm going to do some research before then. But if you're going to be at the draft, I've already talked to a couple people in Washington, back home in Virginia. They're going to be at the draft, already linking up with a good bit of people. So let me know if you're coming. Let's see. I wonder if Armani Rogers can be our breakout player if he's healthy. Like, yeah, but can he be healthy? Did y'all see Caleb lit up when they asked him about the possibility of playing here? Absolutely. Bring that boy back home. And if you have to trade next year's first and one of the seconds this year to do so, do it. Once again, I think Caleb is a special quarterback. I agree. Caleb, Jaden, or Drake, either three. Like, guys, you can have that take. I know it doesn't seem like it on social media, but I promise you guys, you can. RS184 says 28 free agents, 45 roster players. I see 29 players worth a roster spot, 9 draft picks fill, 15 roster holes. Roster spots in free agency should include Curl, Revo, Fuller, Casey, and Joey, in my opinion. 50 mil cap for 10 free agents to fill the roster. Not bad. And I'm going to bring up over the cap here in a second too. By roster spot, I mean the 53-man roster, because we start training camp with 90. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of cuts. Curl not worth top 3 money. What's going on, man? Love seeing these cuts. A whole lot of Deadwood is out of here. Paying Cam Curl for 1 year to prove it is not a problem. They got to get the salary floor some way, which, like I said, maybe they will. It doesn't sound like they're going to attack him, though. Like, it from everything, it just it doesn't sound like they want to attack him. So let's look at this real quick, guys. Over the cap, because the numbers are kind of all over the place. I kind of want to explain over the cap to people, because there's over the cap, there's spot track. So with over the cap, like I said, you can see that the Patriots, let me not click on something. The Patriots have 101 mil in cap space, mostly because of JC Jackson getting released, which is just wild. How much that really freed up. But if you look at the numbers, I had it on here somewhere. Washington has about roughly 91 mil in cap space is what they're saying. But if you see some other ones, it says we have like 80 mil. And people like, Josh, where's that number coming from? So over the cap is just like, this is what it is right now. But if you see effective cap space, that 80.5, that's usually what Spot Track uses. And it's mostly because they already formulate and like calculate the draft picks cap space. It's like how much you're gonna have to spend signing these draft picks. So like realistically, it says Washington has 91, which is true because we haven't drafted anybody yet. But when you're talking about like how much money Washington will have to spend in free agency, it's 80 point something mil. Probably like close to this number here, 80.529 mil. Shout out to Coke Zero. Cherry, by the way. I said this last night too. I had Coke spiced for the first time the other night. When I went out for my buddy's birthday, spent way too much money, drank a little too much, and we ended the night with a Coke Spice, and that was the best thing that I've ever had in my life, guys. I don't know what they put in it, but if you have not had one yet, go get it. Go get one. But anyways, realistically, it's going to be about 80.5 mil in cap space. And like I said, guys, I'm doing all my free agent videos now. Nothing really, in my opinion, has changed free agency-wise. Like I said, guys, I've already projected these things. Go watch my offensive line video, and I did my edge video already. Probably going to do tight end next. And then I'll do linebacker. I'm trying to get them all done. What is today? Friday? This weekend, I'll knock out another one. Like I said, probably tight end will be out by like Sunday morning. Probably Sunday night because I got to work Saturday or tomorrow. Dang, it is already Friday, guys. I can't believe it. Shout out to payday. But so, and this is another thing. Like I said, guys, I want to talk about this as well if I can get off the screen somehow. Um, there's a lot of different things I saw of these moves earlier. Let me see. Justin said real quick: does taking different QBs change how you draft, in your opinion, or no matter who you draft, you're picking the same players? Yes. I think no matter who you pick at quarterback, like the same positions, like the same players throughout the rest of the draft, nothing changes. Now, I am glad you said this because I saw something today that really piqued my interest. I'm like, yes. I don't know why, but yes. It came out today. I forgot who it was. Someone said, let me look, by the way. Let me just look. Because this is probably like the most exciting thing that actually happened today that no one was talking about. And I said, dude, like, please trade up for this guy. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, yeah. So Sam 48, shout out to Sam, by the way. I like Sam a lot. He's one of the good ones. He said LSU wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. told reporters he met with the Washington Commanders in Indy. Brian Thomas Jr. is a top 20 pick, like lock. Brian Thomas Jr. is probably the 4th or 5th wide receiver taken in the draft. So, like I said, top 20 lock. He said, quote unquote, Brian Thomas Jr., opposite of Malik Neighbors all year, freak athlete, super like tall guy, like Julio Jones-esque. He said, just the coaching staff, I would say, stood out to me a lot. It would be great to build a new team, just building how the organization wants the team to be now. I was like, whoa, like we met with him? We met with Brian Thomas Jr. Why? So, like what you said, Justin, does taking different quarterbacks change how you draft, in your opinion? No, I don't think so. But I think it is, and I'll say interesting. This isn't like some clickbaity thing. Really interesting. I think it's cool that, and like I said, most of us know, a lot of us know, or at least think that Washington needs another wide receiver. Could Curtis Samuel come back? Maybe, but I don't see it. I think he has free agency. I think he goes somewhere else. I think they pick another wide receiver that they like. Obviously, you have Terry, then you have Jahan Dotson, but Cliff Kingsbury is going to be using a lot of 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Maybe not a lot. 4, yes. 5, a little bit. Tight ends especially. You will see multiple tight end sets. And a lot of those formations, you'll see 2 tight end sets a lot. So that's something I'll talk about and keep in mind for my tight end video. But with the wide receiver, I don't think Curtis Samuel comes back. Like I said, guys, I've been saying maybe in the second you get a guy like Malachi Corley. That's my guy. Love Malachi. Maybe a Brendan Rice, a taller guy. So you have these connections. Maybe Tez Walker in the second. So you have Jaden Daniels available. Maybe if they got Jaden Daniels and they trade up to get Brian Thomas Jr., his wide receiver that he had so much production with, it makes it a lot easier too. But Brian Thomas Jr. is just a freak athlete, like crazy wide receiver. And I talked about this a little bit too, a couple times on stream. Terry McLaurin's getting old. He is, and I hate to say it, guys, he is getting old in the NFL world. That 30 is the magic number where you officially become old. He has 2 more years on this contract. So something you have to be able to kind of just transition over. You would love Jahan Dotson to be that guy. I think Jahan Dotson has a big year. This year, I think last year it just wasn't good. The whole offense was bad. But you have Terry, like I said, you have about 2-3 good years out of Terry left. But then you have Jahan, who's gonna, obviously hasn't been around long, but you need somebody else. Like you need another good wide receiver. You cannot depend on De'Ami Brown or any of these guys that Ron brought over here, late draft picks, veterans he signed. Like that's not sustainable, especially with all of these, like I said, 4 wide receiver and 5 wide receiver sets that you're going to see. So I thought it was interesting that Washington met with Brian Thomas Jr. at the combine. No, I don't think enough people are talking about that. We met with a top 20 lock. So maybe it would be great to draft Jaden Daniels. And then if they say, look, we're going to trade back up into the first, where would he probably go? You got Harrison Jr., Neighbors, Adunze. He's probably after that. You got quarterbacks. You got some offensive linemen. You got Brock Bowers in there. I'd say he probably goes 15 to 20 range. Maybe they trade back up into the first to get Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not ruling it out. Like I said, guys, they met with him today. Like, that's something. So I'm not taking that for like with a grain of salt, but they do meet with some, players that they don't end up taking, obviously. But I think it would be good, obviously, to get Jaden Daniels and then get his wide receiver, and vice versa. You get Drake May, you could get Tez Walker. If you trade up and get Caleb, maybe you get Brendan Rice. Those three quarterbacks had a lot of production with wide receivers that are in the draft that you can get in this, late first, mid first, second, or the third round. I think Rice probably goes early third. Tez Walker, same. I don't know, man. Tez is one of those weird ones, man. It's such a good wide receiver draft. I just don't know what to think about Tez. I'm all over the place on Tez, but still, we need a wide receiver. Mike Evans came out today and said he's testing free agency. He's not a lock to come back to Tampa Bay. Great. Bring Mike Evans to you. He's an automatic 1,000 yards. I don't care. I said 30 is the magic number where you become old. He does not get old. Mike Evans, you'll have some stupid drops every now and then, but I don't care. If you're giving me 1,000 yards and you're producing every single year, he has not had under 1,000 yards in his whole career in a season. Guys, that's crazy. That's a great safety blanket. That guy that's that big, that can go up and get it, that can attack the ball like he does for a rookie quarterback. Love it. Let me read some comments, then I'm going to bring up one of my big points. Shout out to Josh. Love it on the other Josh. We all enjoy you, Josh. Appreciate everything. Thank y'all. What's the most intriguing position because of coaching that we need from me as linebacker? What you say, though? Yeah, I mean, linebacker. That's been the biggest one I've been struggling with, too, is Jamin Davis. News came out today, speaking of linebacker. Jamin Davis avoids jail time. He was about to get like 180 days. That would have sucked. It sounds like he's good. So Jamin will be here, but he's the only linebacker we have coming back. So you are absolutely signing one. Maybe it's a cheaper option like Aziz Al-Shahir. Maybe you swing big on a Patrick Queen. I think you draft one too. There's a lot that I like in the early third. There's a lot of late round guys I like too. On my mock draft I forgot who I took. I just do so many mock drafts, but I did a live mock draft. Check that too. I think I took a linebacker later on. I didn't do like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Edgerrin Cooper is my linebacker one. Peyton Wilson's balling at the combine. He's probably the linebacker one right now. But yeah, linebacker is such an interesting position because you're definitely signing one and you're definitely drafting one. Maybe signing two. Like I said, you could get a middle guy. Aziz Al-Shahir is going to be like 6-7 mil a year. That's cheap. That's easy. And then maybe you get a middle round guy, Jordan Brooks, Joey Jewell. I'm trying to think who else is out there. Like I said, Patrick Queen. Obviously, you have some older guys like White, Levante David, Bobby Wagner. But they gotta get it. They gotta get it. Terry, shout out to Terry, member of the channel. Brings up a point. We have a Tez Walker on this team. His name is De'Ami Brown. Honestly, they're pretty similar. And not the best ways. But you see, it's funny because we saw like a flash of De'Ami Brown and what he could be, but he's just not consistent. And Tez Walker, it's funny because he only had like 2 or 3 drops the whole season, if he even had that. And then at the Senior Bowl, he's like dropping everything. And then in the game, he was dropping everything. He just did not have a good week at the Senior Bowl. But Tez Walker still, like, he was suspended the first 5-6 games of the season, then just hit the ground running. At North Carolina, to where, it was like, all right, we're like already in the swing of the season. Like, we're almost halfway there. Like, welcome to the team, Tez. So I don't know. Tez, he's not that good after the catch. But at the same time, like, I'm fine with, like, he'd be a good option. But I think he would be better than De'Ami Brown. We've seen the good out of De'Ami Brown. It just doesn't come up like enough. You don't see enough of the good De'Ami, which sucks. Because him and Sam were killing it in North Carolina. They were breaking records at North Carolina. But then it just did not translate at all. Like, he was trying to feed him, and De'Ami was dropping everything. A.D. Mitchell at 36, yes. Hit the yes button. Yes, yes, yes. A.D. Mitchell would be a great pick. A.D. Mitchell is a complete guy, in my opinion. I love A.D. I'll say I think I'd rather have A.D. Mitchell than Xavier Worthy, to be honest with you. Love A.D. Mitchell. One more question. Thomas Jr. falls to us at 36, but Chop's there. Oh, no, you take Thomas. Like I said, Thomas is a top 15 talent. You take him all day long. I think this is a deep edge class. You can get guys like Muhammad Kamara and like the mid rounds. Javon Solomon, Marshawn Nealon having a great combine too. I'm trying to think. Like I said, Adisa Isaac's probably going to be early second. Chop's probably going in the first. Darius Robinson's probably going in the first two. I forgot who it was. I think Kuiper said that he could see him go in the top 10, which is nuts. Like a Trayvon Walker type of ordeal. But I mean, you have to go Thomas. If he's there at 36, which would be like insane, then you have to get him. I like Sam. I think he has a lot to offer yet. He needs to get the nod to start. So the thing with Sam, like y'all know I love Sam. I've never I started the Sam movement like before we even drafted him. I love Sam. I think Sam's a great quarterback. I've said this a couple times. It's just the situation that Washington is in. If Washington was picking like 20 or 25 or something like that, yeah, roll with Sam. Roll with Sam again for next year. But Washington has a top 2 pick. We have the number 2 pick in the draft. Regardless of what you think, it is hard to get the number 2 pick in the draft. It's hard. But you have it right now in a draft where 3 quarterbacks are projected to go 1, 2, 3. That does not happen a lot. Remember that Kenny Pickett draft that Sam went in the 5th round in, by the way? Kenny Pickett was like middle first. And then we saw like what? Did Desmond Ridder in like middle second, and then like Malik Willis, Matt Corral like in the 3rd, 4th, Sam in the 5th. Like it was ugly. This is a draft where you have 3 quarterbacks projected to go 1, 2, 3. Next year, you don't know. Quinn Ewers, Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart, my guy Grayson McCall. Shout out to Grayson, even though he transferred. Like you just don't know. So it's funny because I've seen so many people, and I was kind of saving this line, this thought I've had because it's a good one. Don't mean to pat my own back. So people are saying like trade back or whatever and address the quarterback situation next year. Roll with Sam. You have number 2 right now. You can just take a quarterback. Boom, that's it. Or people saying, so like say we finish 15, 16 next year, then you're going to have to trade up to get one of the top quarterbacks. You're not going to just let a regular middle of the pack quarterback fall to you. That defeats the whole purpose. You're going to have to trade up to the first. So why give up more assets that you just got to trade back to avoid taking a quarterback? Now you're getting desperate to trade up. I mean, unless we finish second, like with the 2nd or 3rd pick again, then cool. That's not a guarantee, guys. I don't think we do finish with a top 5 pick next year. I pray to God we don't. Because I trust what Adam Peters is going to do. I trust Quinn. I trust, Joe Wade Jr. and I trust Cliff. So you have a number 2 pick right now. Just take your quarterback. Get the ball rolling. Get the development going. Don't put it off another year. That Terry's going to be, at the end of his career by the time your rookie quarterback gets going. If Sam's not the answer, then you're like, all right, we're starting over again. So even with trading up to Caleb this year, which I don't think it's going to be possible. I think Chicago was ready to pick him. I think Poles is just itching to just turn that card in. And it came out today. Diana Rossini, there's a little, I quoted it on Twitter. Follow me if you haven't already, but I quoted it on X, Twitter, whatever, on X, to where she made an appearance on on a podcast. It does not sound like Justin Herbert. Wow. Justin Fields has a market at all, like barely, if any. Like the pulse is very low. Like the Justin Fields pulse is not high. Like I don't think you're going to get a high second for him. I think it's going to be a late second, early 3rd, if that. But with that being said, even if it was trading up for Caleb, do it. Trade a pick next year and whatever to trade up and get the best guy, the number 1 overall prospect. The guy who's been the number 1 overall prospect for 2 years now. Get him. If it was a chance. I don't think it happens though. Trade those few assets, whatever it is. So here's your assets you traded to give up Caleb Williams. If you're in the camp to just roll with Sam one more year and take a quarterback next year, those same assets that you could have given up for Caleb, or those assets that you just got for trading back from 2 and not selecting Drake May and not selecting Jaden Daniels, those assets, those same ones, this is right here, guys. I'm not letting go of it. Those assets you just traded back to get, or those assets that you could have traded away for Caleb, you are now trading those same things. It's just pushed off a year later to trade up in the draft with a top probably 3, at least top 5 pick to now take your quarterback in 2025. Whoever it is, Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, like I said, whoever. You don't even know who's going to be good next year. And it's already come out of the combine. People have been talking, things I've seen, things I've heard from people. There's not a lot of people too confident or too excited about the quarterback class next year. Will somebody pop off and get hyped up? Sure. Who is it, though? Maybe Shedeur Sanders? Cool. Say he goes top 3. Say it is only like 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks in the top 5. Now you're trading those assets, guys. They're still here. I let go of it for a second, but it's still here. Those assets, you're now trading it to move up to get one of those quarterbacks. So why would you put it off for a year? Just to see what Sam could do? Is it worth it? It's a 5th round pick. You can take that loss. If Sam was a guy you took in the top 5, maybe in the, just say 1st round, then sure. Don't take the loss right away. See what you can get out of Sam. But he was a 5th round pick that you got by trading back anyways. Let it go. It's fine. I don't think he goes anywhere. And if you could trade him for a 3rd, you better do it. Absolutely. Resign Jacoby Brissett for a year, or any kind, like Gardner Minshew, whoever, I don't care. Any kind of vet quarterback, resign them or sign them in free agency. If you're going to trade, if you can trade Sam for a 3rd, you better do it. I'm almost borderline saying a 4th in this draft, but definitely a 3rd. Do I think you could get that for him? I personally don't, but there's people that think so. But I'm saying, guys, if you have a chance to get a quarterback, do it. And I've had so many people saying, Josh, 1st round quarterbacks don't hit. Sure, not every single one's going to hit. That is fine. And then I have some guy tell me a list of like 4 names of great quarterbacks outside the 1st round, going all the way back to Brett Favre. So a 30-year span, he gave me about 4 or 5 names. I don't even know this guy's name. I had to mute him. I was like, I can't partake in this. Like I'm losing my IQ, and it's already low. I'm losing more. Giving me a list of names of Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and Russell Wilson. So let's just say those 4 or 5 guys. If you pick a guy outside the 1st round, he either has to be the greatest of all time. He either has to be Drew Brees, and like he won 1 ring in a long career. Cool. Or Russell Wilson, or it's going to be an undrafted guy in Kurt Warner. He was bagging groceries and he needs some miracle to happen. Like, would you say the lottery is $10 million and it came up to you and said, look, the lottery is $10 million. I have a ticket here that gives you 1 out of 10 odds of winning that lottery, or I have 1 out of 100 odds on this ticket to win that same lottery. Which one are you taking? Now, that 1 in 10 is not guaranteed to hit. I'm not saying it is, but you have a damn sure better possibility of hitting that lottery with this 1 to 10 ticket than you do this 1 out of 100. You know how many quarterbacks were drafted outside of the 1st round that didn't do shit their whole career? A lot. They're in the UFL, the XFL, or they're just not playing anymore. And they're doing this, talking into a microphone. Yes, not every 1st round quarterback hits, but I'm telling you, you have a higher chance of doing so than you do anyone outside the 1st round. It blows. I don't get how people don't get that. Yeah, Josh, but I tell you what, you might as well trade back and you just take the chance and be stuck in this situation forever unless we get blessed with Tom Brady. No. Swing until you hit. I'll give you one more example. If a batter strikes out his 1st time and he's like, well, next rotation, I'm not going to swing. I'm just going to play it safe. I'm going to hope he hits me. Then I'll get on base. I'm going to hope the pitcher hits me. I'm going to play it safe. No, you keep swinging until you hit it. Until you get your quarterback, you keep drafting one. I don't care. Until you say, that's the guy, then you keep drafting one. I don't care. Stop telling me, Josh, trade back. You never know what you're going to find in the fourth round. Yes, I do. He either be damn good for no reason, like, and just magically happen. And Brock Purdy has absolutely been great. But there are 49er fans after the Super Bowl saying he lost the Super Bowl with the best roster in the NFL. Can we win a Super Bowl with this guy? The window is closing in San Francisco. Can we win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy? We don't know. So yes, he's been great. Yes, he's had a really good team. First off, you can't expect Washington to just be the 49ers next year. It's going to take 2-3 years to get to that level, whatever. But still, even with an average quarterback, their limitations are still going to come out on the biggest stage. So get the guy that can make the big boy throws, that can make the special plays, that can win you a Super Bowl. Not say, well, we'll see what Kurt Warner can do. And he played the Steelers, though, and the Steelers won in the Super Bowl. Like, at the end of the day, get your guy, man. And it's fun getting a new quarterback, too. Damn, it's exciting. Josh Harris is going to put their face big on the tickets. He's going to look good in our new stadium. I'm going to be at training camp hyping the shit out of whoever we draft because that's what I do. Because I do love my guys. Even if I get in a fight with Cam Curl, I still got love for Cam because he still wears that W. I'm gonna be back in Virginia at training camp hyping the shit out of this team. I'm drafting either Robinson, talking about edge. Let's get back to y'all's comments. I had to go on a little rant though, because I had to mute so many people yesterday and today on X saying like, "Oh, trade back. You'll find one in the fourth. You'll find somebody in the fifth. Not every first round quarterback hits." No shit. Not every first round quarterback hits, but you have a better chance. They're projected to go first round for a reason, because they're better. Now, with that being said, and this is just supposed to be talking about like cuts and salary cap, but here we've gone down this situation, but we're live. I'm answering y'all's comments and everything in the chat. I love y'all. The thing is, and this is with every position, this is with everybody in the draft. It is all about situation. It's all about scheme. It's all about fit, but it's also how the player translates as a person to the next level. Are they studying? Are they working out? Are they eating right? Are they doing, healthy habits? Are they being professional? Are they doing what they need to do? It is much more than just talent. It's more than that. And when you do this studying, like scouting for like the scouting academy and stuff, they tell you about that. It's not just watch the film, but also they have to be able to translate to the NFL as a person. But then also they need good coaching. They need a good situation. I'm telling you guys, if Drake May goes to the Patriots and if Drake May goes to Washington, you could see two completely different outcomes, because right now the Patriots are not built for a rookie quarterback. They are not built at all. They should be trading back. They should be getting a veteran. I don't care if it's Russell Wilson, whoever. They need to build that roster bad. Very badly. Very badly. Way worse than us. But I'm telling you guys, any quarterback on this God green earth, maybe Patrick Mahomes could do something with the Patriots. Maybe he could take that team to the playoffs, but they are so bad. No quarterback is succeeding under that. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want Drake May and I don't want Jaden Daniels going to the Patriots and then they suck. And then we have people on social media like, look, I told you so-and-so sucks because look what he's doing with the Patriots. He's not doing anything. Blah, 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 blah. Hot take, I think Mac Jones is better if he doesn't go to the Patriots. I still think he sucks in the NFL, but I think he was at a really bad situation with the Patriots. If the 49ers would have drafted them like they said Shanahan wanted to, instead of Trey Lance, who knows what would have happened. But I'm just saying, guys, that's what I don't want. But it's all about situation. I think Drake May can be good. I think Caleb Williams can be good. I think Jaden Daniels can be good. But it depends where they go. It depends what happens. And then, like I said, it's with everybody. Marvin Harrison Jr., he could suck in the NFL. We don't know. He could go somewhere to where it's just bad coaching, or he's not getting the ball, or he just like, it's whatever. I'm in the NFL. Like, you don't know what any of these players are about to do. You don't know any of them. Offensive linemen. There's been offensive linemen that have been taken super high that sucked in the next level. Like you feel like that should translate well, but it doesn't. You just don't know. Anyways, the code talker says, JTFB, what do we do if the Cardinals want to trade up to number 2? You don't do it. Because like I said, take your quarterback. And the fact that you do have 2 and not 3, it's like, oh, we got to take who's left over. It allows you to, 1, trade up to Caleb if he's available. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be available, though. But it gives you the opportunity to say, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, who do we want? Who do we want? Who fits what we want to do? Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury. I think those are the 3 top guys that should have a hand in that. Mayhew as well. Sit down and say, who do we want? What do we want to do? And that's something they talked about a couple times that we've heard a couple times now. And we heard it from Adam Peters. We heard it from Dan Quinn talking about how they wrote down traits that they want in certain positions, what they want out of their quarterback, what they want out of their wide receivers, what they want out of their linebackers, so-and-so. And I love that. They want an identity at every position. I love that. They're not just drafting a guy and saying like, maybe we can mold this guy. That starts blending into what I was just talking about with, it's all about situation. Maybe this guy doesn't fit the scheme, but they're going to try to twist him to fit the scheme. They're going to put that, square, blocking around hole, whatever. It doesn't always work that way. So I like that that's something we've heard. And I said it the other day when Adam Peters press conference at the combine. And like I said, we've heard Quinn talk about it too. They made a list and they just wrote down what traits and characteristics that they want out of positions, and especially the quarterback position. So you have this list or traits or whatever they did. Excuse me, hit on mic. They have these traits and characteristics from their quarterback that they want. Which quarterback fits that? Now, I'll say this. If Adam Peters and Quinn and whoever, Cliff, says it's not Drake May and it's not Jaden Daniels, it is J.J. McCarthy, then okay, once again, I'm going to be fine with whoever we take. It's just in my honest opinion, I think Drake May and Jaden Daniels is the better pick. But at the end of the day, if they say, look, we do want J.J. McCarthy, now how far back can we go and still get him? Once again, you don't sacrifice the most important position just to get a couple more picks. You take your quarterback when you know you can get him. Now, would I be excited if they took him at 2? No, not at all. But if they trade back to 4 or 5 or whatever, because teams are going to be aggressive. We got to wait to see what happens with free agency. But teams are going to be aggressive for a quarterback. And like I said, the Justin Fields market is not as hot as we thought it was. So you just never know. Someone's going to be aggressive, whether it's the Raiders, the Broncos, the Steelers, whoever could trade up and try to get J.J. McCarthy, whoever they think the 4th best quarterback is. And honestly, I think the 4th best quarterback would be J.J. McCarthy. I would take him over Nix. I would take him over Penix because he's still only like 21 years old. You just never know. So if Adam Peters said that's our guy, we're going to trade back and still get him. Maybe you go to 4th, 5th, whatever. I'm going to be fine. Like I said, guys, I'm going to say whatever. I'm going to be in Detroit and I'm going to do a live reaction video to our first pick. And if it's J.J. McCarthy and we trade back, I'm like, okay, all right, here we go. Buckle up, guys. Like I said, I would love any of those 3 guys with Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Give it to me. But don't just trade back just to get assets. Like I said, guys, we already have enough draft capital. We already have enough assets. Get the most important position solidified before you do anything. Spend money in free agency. See who's available. See who you can get. Build a great foundation in free agency. And then let the draft just fall to you. Let the best players that you're going to make an immediate impact fall to you. Now, of course, if you don't get a left tackle or offensive lineman in free agency, yeah, you're going to have to be aggressive and try to get one. So I'm going to say this real quick because I've been avoiding saying it because I've been rambling about other stuff. But I think the moves today, and I said this too, with Charles Leno, like I said, I thought they would wait until after the draft for the Charles Leno thing. They didn't. So I think Washington, taking a quarterback at 2, the move. But I think, and I talked about Brian Thomas Jr., trading up to maybe get him because we talked to him at the combine. If you're new to the stream, if you're just joining the chat. But I think that Washington Maybe not to the extent of the Texans, how they got CJ Stroud and Will Anderson last year. But I think Washington is in a position to trade from the second, whether it's pick 36, pick 40, and trade back up into the first round. So you take a quarterback at 2. You see Troy Fautanu there at the end of the first, maybe Jordan Morgan. I'm trying to think, maybe Graham Barton. Maybe they go right tackle. Maybe it's Mims. Maybe it's Latham. Fuaga. I mean, there's a lot of really good tackles in the first round, but I think Washington is in a really good position to trade back up into the first. Some people kind of mistake what I said and thought I was saying trade back from 2 to go back in the first. No, I'm saying trade back into the first from the second round. So you take your quarterback at 2, and then you draft his protection in the first round. Like I said, you have a second, you could trade up. Maybe you trade something for next year. Maybe you trade a third, whatever it takes. Now, could they trade a first next year to go back to the top 5 or top 6 or 7 to get an Ole Fashanu or a Joe Alt? I'm not ruling it out. If Adam wants to swing on draft night and says, look, we're going to trade a first next year and maybe, I don't know, something else. 5th next year too. I don't know. To trade back up into the first, like top 10, to take one of the top 2, top 3 tackles in the draft. Dude, do it, Adam. Swing it. Do it. That's fine with me. I just said I'd be okay doing it for a wide receiver. I'd absolutely be okay doing it for a tackle. Let me try to catch up on some of y'all's comments. But like I said, guys, that's just one thing I thought about today. Washington is absolutely in a position to get back up into the first after they take a quarterback at 2. All right, dude, I'm so excited for draft night. I cannot wait to be there. I'm ready. It's coming. I'm just excited for free agency, though. Let's see. Where was I at? I can't remember his lot. Terry says he's speaking the truth on that. Appreciate it. Christopher says, would you take Jaden at 2 and trade back to the first for Brock Bowers using an extra 2 or 3rd rounder in a first 2025? So something I just talked about. Would I do it for Brock Bowers? Yeah, I think Brock's phenomenal. Talking about tight ends, like I said, you'll see multiple tight end sets, but then also Brock Bowers is a phenomenal blocker. You're going to see a lot of, tight end screens. You're going to see a lot of delayed routes from Brock Bowers. He's going to be doing a lot of a great inline blocking. I think Brock Bowers, trading back up to the first to get a really good prospect like that, you can never be mad at that, ever. Remember last year, this time we were talking about this year's quarterbacks, Caleb and Drake. No one has talked about next year's top QBs. Take your shot now. Winning teams attack success. Yes. Thank you. Shout out to Radar. What's going on, Radar? You're a little late. Man. I've been live for an hour now. I don't know where you been. Brent says enough of the Caleb talk. Jaden will be fine. Our new system. Yeah, like I said, guys, once again, I'm not anti-Caleb. I don't think he's a diva. I don't care if he paints his nails. I don't care if he doesn't have an agent. I don't care about the things that y'all care about with Caleb. I love Caleb. I love Jaden. I love Drake. That's fine, man. You can call me a quarterback groupie, I guess, because I'm not gonna diss any of those guys. And yes, Tecmo says your boy Sennett just did great at the combine. If Sanders isn't there, he will look good in burgundy and gold. Y'all know I'm a Ben Sennett fan, man. President of the fan club. That's my boy. I had a great talk with him at the Senior Bowl, and he's like, I walked up to him. He's like, man, I know who you are. He's like, I see your post on X all the time. He's like, I know exactly who you are. He's like, you're the Washington dude for Bleach Report. I was like, yep. And dude, we literally talked like 10, 15 minutes. I didn't even record it. It was just chill talk. He was talking about his meeting with Washington, questions they were asking him, how things are going. I was like, dude, we're gonna draft you. You're gonna be great. We're gonna give you the number 0. You're gonna rock it. You're gonna kill it here. You're gonna be a starting tight end. Like, dude, I can't wait. He was like, dude, I'd love it. I pray we get Ben here. I knew he was gonna have a good combine. I like Sanders too, but I'm telling you guys, Ben Sennett, because you can put him in line, you can put him at fullback, you can put him out at Y. He's a great catcher, and he's a phenomenal blocker. He just looks for action. The dude loves ball. Went from walk-on to just a highly, highly touted tight end in the draft now. Honestly, I think he's my 3rd tight end. Obviously, Brock Bowers is Brock Bowers. I think JT Sanders is really good, so he's good enough to be a tight end too. But I'm telling you, I think Ben Sinnott, he was like 6th, 7th, 8th, like undrafted, going into like the mock drafts, stuff like that. I was like, dude, I like this guy. I remember watching him tear up Alabama in the bowl game 2 years ago. I was like, man, who is this white dude, number 34, catching these balls on my Bama squad? We had all of our starters. And I told him that. He's like, bro, they were wanting the same thing. He's like toe tapping, getting 2 feet in, doing these little post routes and stuff, little out routes. I'm like, what are you doing? Who is this guy? Somebody cover him. So I watched him this year. I was like, I'm going to keep my eye on this guy. Because once again, guys, we said we've needed a tight end for like 8 years now. And sure enough, Ben had a great season this year too. He's a great family, played a lot of sports growing up. I like that. I like people that play multiple sports. And he's just a good, genuine dude. I hope we draft him. I have like 5 or 6 draft crushes. Ben will always be number 1. He will always be crush number 1. Shout out to Ben. Really good dude. Yes, draft a young quarterback. Be really stupid for Washington to trade down. We're a bad enough team to have the opportunity to get the number 2 pick, to have the opportunity to take a top quarterback. Why would we say, you know what? We don't want it. We don't want it, guys. If we drafting Penix, we don't need a top-notch left tackle. I mean, they said his medical stuff came out today, and Josh just said it too. Penix with 2 bad knees and injury prone, all bad. He did get cleared at the combine. But with that being said, Fatanu was his left tackle, and Fatanu was really good. Fatanu is one of my favorite tackles. So like I said, I think Fatanu trading up back into the first and getting Fatanu at the end of the first there, probably somewhere between the 25 to 32 range, would be great. Like, I would love Troy Fatanu. I think he's a left tackle. Some people think he's only a left guard. I don't think so. Somehow, some way, we need to come out of this draft with either Bucky Irving or Troy Franklin. Speed on top of speed. Dude, both of them would be great. I can't do a mock draft and not get Bucky Irving with pick, what is it, like 100 or whatever we have. We have like 3 picks within like between 100 and like 110. So I just can't not pick Bucky Irving. I love Bucky, even though he cost me a lot of money in my parlays this year. A lot of things. It was really sketchy. I don't know. Radar says he was checking out all the future commanders at the combine. Good. You can catch me up. I haven't been able to see much today, except these boys is running fast today. It was running fast yesterday, and they're running fast today. So hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't plan on going live too long. We've been live for about an hour and 10 minutes now. Enjoy the rest of the night. Catch up on some combine stuff. Get ready for tomorrow. Like I said, Sunday, I'll probably do my next free agency video. Do you think I'll be tight end or linebacker? It's going to be one of the 2. Stay tuned. Go watch the other 2 if you haven't already. Whoa, losing zoom, losing focus here. We're back. Kind of, sort of. I did offensive line and I did edge rushers already. So go watch those if you haven't already. Like I said, guys, we got some money to spend. So stay tuned. I got some more stuff cooking up for y'all here on the channel. Hit that subscribe and like button. Terry says, so I live about 5 minutes from the maze. My wife and Drake's mom played basketball growing up. Her dad coached my wife to the Junior Olympics and in high school. Drake's mom was a baller. Drake's whole family is just athletic. Like, genes on top of genes. It's just crazy. Like, even like the whole basketball family with his brother, both his brothers, the whole family's athletic. I love it. And you don't hear Drake May talk that much, but we've got to like hear him talk a good bit at the combine now, and I love it. People say he has a punchable face. He dropped that banger of a line today. Talking, he was like, you don't want a game plan against me, you want a game plan like for me, like, or he said, you don't want a game plan for me, you want a game plan with me, like, saying like, you don't want to play me. I like that. Talk that talk, Drake May. Like I said, I'm all for it. I love these guys. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and then join the membership if you haven't already, like Terry. Appreciate y'all stopping by, and I'll see y'all next time here on the JTFB channel. Peace.